Hello and welcome to the CPCW monthly update for pharmacy contractors and their teams covering June 2022. These updates go out on YouTube, but they're also available on audio only on all major podcast platforms so the whole team can access. So if you think that would be useful, please search for Cheshire and Mersey LPCs on any podcast platform. Today's topics we're going to talk about is the review steering group, some community pharmacist consultation service management side issues, a heads up about smart cards and a plea for help around smart cards, some updates on the hypertension case finding service, and then finally the CPCW rag sheets that we're going to be launching very shortly. So the first topic is the review steering group. As many of you will know, the voting period opened a couple of weeks ago and is now open until this Friday at 11:59 p.m. If you've not reviewed them already, please make sure you look at the recommendations for the change of how pharmacy representation works in England, and please place your vote based on your own conclusions for that. All of the details are available on the website, which is pharmacy-review.org, and contractors will have received several communications from the voting service, Civica Election Service, about it. The first one, and the one with all of the details of how to vote on, arrived from CES, on the email title, and it arrived on Friday the 27th of May this year, so please check your junk email box if you can't locate it. That should have come in either to your shared NHS mailbox, or if you've got a contractor email that's different that NHS England used to communicate with you, it'll be that email that it comes into. CPCS management, so we just had a couple of issues that I just thought would be worth sharing in terms of learning. So we had a couple of issues with the 111 service, as well as a few instances of poor provision over the bank holiday. And it's worth highlighting just because now we've got a few different routes of referrals arriving in. If you get referrals in from 111, they'll come in through your own provider pays provider, whoever it is you've assigned to for that. If you get referrals from general practice, they mostly appear through farm outcomes for surgeries that are using EMIS or the farm refer practices, but there will possibly still be a few NHS mail ones as well. So please just make sure your teams know where you're likely to get referrals to based on the type of referral it is and your own provider pays arrangements, and make sure they've got some form of routine of checking them regularly so that the patients aren't let down. In terms of escalations, we had a few issues with 111 where patients have simply been told to call back 111, and I just wanted to put a reminder out there that's not the service spec. The service spec states that any onward referral should be managed by the pharmacist as part of the service. All of the data and all of the details you need to manage this is in farm outcomes, and I've had a few contractors contact us over the last few weeks who just haven't known about where this is, so I thought it'd be helpful to mention it. So if you go onto farm outcomes and look through your services, there's one titled CPCS Annex C Details, and then there's got all of the different areas mentioned on that down the left-hand side of the screen. Please click on your area and it'll show you all of the details and all of the summary details you need to make the various contacts in your area. The other thing that's on there is all of the backdoor numbers for GP surgeries that we know about. So hopefully that'll be useful, and hopefully you can pin that up. It's done in the form of a downloadable document. The reason it's done that way is so you can print it out and stick it on the wall. Obviously away from patient-facing areas, but just so anyone in the team can have access to those numbers that they might need to. In terms of smart cards, we've got an avalanche of referrals due at the end of this month, and this is because of some of the extensions that happened during the height of the COVID period. We've been told there's 144,000 smart cards that are up for renewal later this month. The bit we're unsighted on, and we are frantically trying to find out with our colleagues in NHSE, is how many of those are in our area and how many of those are even in the northwest, so they might affect us. But the action I do want to play and make a plea for you to help with us is, can you check your own cards, can you check your team's cards, and your locum cards, however that locum is booked, whether they're direct booking or for an agency. Whenever anyone is with you and in your pharmacy and they've got a smart card, even if they don't use it very often, please check, and if they're able to renew via the portal, please do so. It'll save so much time and hassle rather than leaving it to the lengthier process afterwards with RAs involved who are likely to have to deal with a number of these. There is some targeted work going on, but we will need your help here to minimise any disruption caused. Next topic was around hypertension service. Just well done to those who are already live and motoring on the service. One thing to highlight for those who are going live, or even for those who are live, within the toolkit it does talk about general practice communications and to ensure that practices know you're doing it and the capacity you have to take referrals in. The LPC team, we will be doing some work over the coming months to try and help here, liaising with both pharmacies and practices at PCN level to try and capture that capacity within the pharmacies and the number of referrals the practices have and want to send to you, just so it should make it easier for contractors and their teams to plan how they can take that on. One reminder I did want to make, the spec is for the whole service, so please make sure you're really clear at what reading levels you have to offer and encourage an ABPM reading, and that you have a really clear view of the availability of your machines, because there's been a couple of minor issues there, and just to try and to capture them before they become anything bigger. The last topic today is a service rag sheet. What we mean by that is red, amber, green, quite simple traffic light system. It's likely to be launched in the next week or so by CPCW. This is something unique to our LPC. So it's not a national service or anything, it is something that we've produced. And it's a tool we've been using that look at specific locally commissioned services. They look at all of the different elements of that service specification, from the contracting to the training to the remuneration, and then we express the committee's view. So the committees have a look at it and rate where they think it should be, where something is optimal, where something isn't quite so preferable, and what would need to change to make it so. All of these is to help guide a contractor. Obviously, it's a contractor's own decision on whether they offer a particular service or not, but hopefully the way we're going to be using these is to give a bit of guidance from the LPC, and actually it's also really useful for our team to express back when we're in negotiations for local services where we see the changes in need. It's quite natural for people not to want to appear it's a red mark, a danger, a warning mark or anything like that. So it makes it really, really clear where we think there's problems and where they could be changed. I hope that was useful. We'll be filming this again around the second Tuesday of every month, so hopefully we'll see you next month. Bye-bye.